And also thank you so much for such a wonderful introduction. So with this, I would like to start today's session, today's talk. It's more of like, I will try to address the topic. I will later on, I will try to take up your questions also. And I will try that we will be able to answer all the questions of all the participants. So please, as instructed, please leave your questions on the question answer section, and we will take those questions at the end of the session. So when we talk about leadership, I would just like to show you one quotation. So I hope you people are able to see my screen.
Yes, we can. Yes.
So before I start, I would just like you to just give it a thought that effective leadership flows from effectively leading yourself. Now what I suggest is the key of leadership, that if we are able to lead ourselves properly, if we are able to lead our own life properly, then we will be able to lead others also. So first of all, it's very important that we should be able to lead ourselves. We should be able to lead our own life, our own journey, our own career. So it should not be like we are just going where the time is taking us, or we are just going with the wave of time. So we should be having certain goals, we should be having certain parameters, certain measurement to measure our own performance, and we should be able to move forward. That doesn't matter that whether we are moving fast or we are moving slow. But what matters is that we should continuously be moving. So it's very important that first of all, we should be able to lead ourselves. Then only when we are clear about where we are going, then only we can have our followers and we can lead others. So I'm sure like you people must have heard about leadership skills a lot. And maybe many of you must have done certain courses or attended certain webinars or trainings on leadership. And when we talk about leadership, we talk about mainly about leadership skills, leadership styles, right? Various type of leaders, what properties, what qualities, what characteristics, what kind of personality traits they basically have. So today, I'm not going to talk about any of these. Okay, so I'm not going to talk about any of the leadership styles like democratic leader, autocratic leader, charismatic leader, servant leadership and all. I'm not going to tell about what qualities you should have in order to be a good leader, or what qualities the leaders that have been very successful in past or in present, they have been demonstrating. Today, I just want you to look at the leadership skills from a different perspective. Which is going to be valid in present scenario and in future. Because we all know that the change has happened, that this pandemic, this COVID-19 has hit us badly, and there are many industries which are really, really badly hit. So this change has already happened. So we cannot just wait and watch. We cannot just sit. I have heard many people saying that I'm just waiting, or we are just waiting for things to get back to normal like it used to be 3 to 4 or 5 months ago. So take my words, this change has already happened. This is going to be permanent now. So it's not that even if this COVID-19 is going to be, subside a bit, even then the things are not going to be normal. The things are not going back to the same scenario or in the same condition, in the same market condition where it was 5 to 6 months ago. So the change has already happened. So what we have to do is now we have to accept it, that the change has happened. And now whatever be the market growth, whatever be the future scenarios, everything is going to take off from here. We are not going back. So now many things which were, very valid a few months ago, now they are not valid, or they become obsolete. All of a sudden, these 5-6 months have actually brought a big change in the global market. So now we have to prepare ourselves. We just don't have to be an effective leader. We have to know that what are the leadership skills which are required as of now, and what are the leadership skills which will be valid in future. So today I'll be talking about those skills. I'll be talking about that phase or that part of leadership, or you can say that approach towards leadership, which is the upcoming leadership approach and which is going to be valid in near future. So when we talk about this new approach, there are a couple of things which we will be discussing today. So first of all is value-driven leadership. So now the leadership is not only that you are leading others. The leadership should be, it should have deeply imbibed value system. It should be value driven leadership. Then the second concept comes the self-mastery. So I will be taking up these concepts in each section of this session. Second one is self-mastery. Self-mastery is to what extent you are able to master yourself. You are able to handle yourself. You are able to manage yourself. So that's very important, because self-management is the most important thing. If you want to manage others, first you will be able to manage yourself. Innovation and experimentation, because things are changing now. This is going to be the age of technology. Now this is going to be completely knowledge-based economies. So future is knowledge. Future is lying in technology. Future is lying in innovation. Future is lying in experimentation, and future is lying in knowledge. So if you are able to accept it and work towards it, you will become competent. You will be able to sustain during this condition, and you will be able to do well in future as well. The next one is emotional intelligence. So emotional intelligence is an upcoming psychological topic, and there has been many workshops, there has been many courses and many things on emotional intelligence. So I'll be telling you brief, because it's itself is a very vast topic. I can we can talk about hours and hours about emotional intelligence. So we have the time constraint also. So I'll be telling you the gist of emotional intelligence and how exactly you can utilize it to be a good leader or to become an effective leader. And the next one is networking, and then comes a positive leadership. So we will try to touch each and every part of this agenda today, and we will take up them one by one. So first of all, we will be discussing about values driven leadership. Now I have a little work for you, small work for you all. So I'll be displaying certain small questions here on the screen. So what you have to do is you just have to write one word answers for that, and you just leave the comment on the chat box. The first one is, what do I stand for and why? So you have to write just one word for which you always stand up. Leave that why, because that is for your own thought provocation. So just write only one word for which you will always stand up. Like you will always stand strongly. Like it could be truth, it could be value, it could be self-respect, anything. So just leave your comments on the chat box quickly. Honesty, integrity, discipline, honesty. I'm really happy to see so many honest people here in this group. Ethics, truth, hard work, justice, for right thing, integrity, principles, very nice. Ethics, really, really well. Human values, I'm really happy to see such prominence in your responses, guys. Really happy to see that. Honesty and justice, right for girls, straightforwardness, attitude, loyalty, human values, very nice. So when we are talking about value-driven leadership, we should be clear about this thing. This should be clear in our mind, that what are the things that I will always stand up, and I will always stand for, and I will always stand by. So these are the things. I have just asked you to write one thing. You must be having a couple of things. So we all must be clear about those 4 or 5 things, which are like the basic pillars of our values. And we are not ready to do anything against that, right? There should not be any contradiction. So first of all, it's very important to be a good leader, that you should be able to understand yourself, that what are the things which are important for you, what are the things which are the core self. Now the answer, the things that you are answering to this question, these are your core self, your core inner self, which is your basic stuff. So no matter wherever you go, no matter whatever you do, whichever job you are in, whatever experience you are having, this core self is something which is your strength. This core self is something which you cannot change. Even if you're pushing yourself to change that and compromising with your core values and your integrity, then it's going to create so much of dissonance here, cognitive dissonance. So once you are fighting with yourself, like you are doing a job which you don't like, you are forced to do a job which is against your own principles, which is against your own values. You hate to tell lie, and you have to tell lie to sell your products to the customers. So how could you, on the earth you can think that I will be able to do this job. Because every time you are doing that, you are just contradicting your own core self. So to be an effective leader, be very clear about these 4 5 things which are your core self, and never ever compromise with that. Then only you will be able to be strong from within, and you will be able to be like you are doing justice with yourself. Now, the next thing I have for you is, why would others follow me? So write one thing which you believe that, yes, this is my strongest point, or one thing that you want others to follow you for. Like you want to be a good orator, you want to be a very sensitive person, or you want to do something for the society. Just write one thing that you want people to follow you for really. Knowledge, trustworthiness, optimism, confidence, belief, and trust, innovation, knowledge, sensitivity, effective leadership, attitude, hopefulness, positive attitude, knowledge. So very good, very nice, very nice responses. Innocent, very nice. Integrity. See, every person has a distinct quality. So it's very important for us to understand and know ourselves, that what is that critical quality, or what is the distinguished quality that we have, that I have, which makes me a wonderful person, which makes me a beautiful personality, which makes me a very influential person, which others should follow me. Visionary, commitment, relationship, equal opportunity, healthy relations, intentions, very nice. So these are the things, and you can prepare a list of these things, right? Later on after this session, whenever you have time, just do one thing. Just have these 4 questions in your mind and just try to find out very straightforward and to the point answers to these questions, because this is going to give you a very high degree of clarity in your life, in your purpose. So second question which we were discussing was, why would others follow me? So it's very important for us to know our strengths, right? We all say that what we have to do is, like, we have to know our strengths, and what we have to do is we should be knowing about our weaknesses also. So we have to focus on our strengths, we have to maintain our strengths, and we have to develop our weaknesses. Like, we have to overcome our weaknesses, we have to work more on weaknesses. But that's not right. Weaknesses is something where exactly you are not good at. So no matter however efforts you are going to put, you will not be able to be a master of that. You will not be able to do mastery in that. You will not become an expert in that. Sometimes it's like you will be struggling with your weaknesses throughout the life, and still you will not be able to do away with that. So your approach should be vice versa. Your approach should be that you have to maintain and sustain your weaknesses in such a way that others are not going to overcome you or suppress you because of your weaknesses, or they can take advantage of you because of your weaknesses. You just have to sustain that. You just have to maintain that. But where exactly you have to put your efforts is your strengths. Develop your strengths. Develop your strengths. Work more and more what you are good at. Because if you are doing more efforts, you're putting more efforts on what you are good at, you are actually becoming an expert. This is the area, your strengths are the areas where your interest lies. Your strengths are the areas where your expertise lies, where your skills lies, where your passion, your focus, everything lies in your strengths. So identify your strengths and work more and more in your strengths until they become your competence. So always try to convert your strengths into competence. So this is the reason why we should know, to be an effective leader, to be a value-based leader, we should know what are the good things, what are the good values that I carry in myself, in my personality. And this is the reason, or these were the points where people will be following me, they will be influenced by me. The next one is, what will people say about me in my absence? So this is, or you can just try to, I'll just paraphrase this question for you, that what exactly you want people to say about you in your absence, right? Not on your face, because everyone will say good things on your face, but what do you want people to say and remember you for? If you focus only on the strengths, will we miss blind areas as per Johari's window? I will come to I'll take up the questions towards the end of the session, but it's not about the blind area, because you see, the blind area is something that we are also not aware of. So something which others are telling us, or something which is not yet explored. So it's always better to put your efforts where you can see the improvements, you can plan for yourself. So it's always better to focus on your strengths, but at the same time, do not ignore your weaknesses so that they can become stronger, or they can become your more weak areas. Just try to sustain them. So your blind area, your weaknesses, everything comes, the things which are not known to you, known to self, known to others, all these things are come for bare maintenance, only for minimum maintenance, but more efforts should be towards developing your strengths, because that is where the benefits are going to come. Hope I've answered your question. So yes, coming to the third question, like what you want people to remember you for: assertiveness, ability to put your point, honest, inspiring them, straightforwardness. Okay, very good. So I'm really happy to see that you people are clear about what you want people to remember you for. So make sure that you are doing that today. You are doing that right now. Do not wait for tomorrow, or do not wait for like a second promotion, or do not wait to reach to a particular level in your professional career. Then I'll start doing charity. I want people to know me for charity, but I'll not do it right now. I'll do it after 5 years. I want people to know me about accountability, but right now I'm not accountable towards my work, because I'm working at a lower level. And later on, when I'll become senior manager, or I'll become vice president, president, then I'll talk about accountability. So don't do that. If you want whatever things you want people to think about you, or to remember you, or talk about you in your absence, make sure that all of the things that you people are writing: honesty, straightforwardness, accountability, good relationship, hardworking, make sure that you are doing it right now, and you are doing it presently, and you will keep on doing it. So do not wait for future to do that. The last one is, where am I going? So for this question, I don't want you to write your answers here in the chat box, but just give it a thought after the session, whenever you have time, that are you clear about where you are going? It's not about that where are you going, it's about where you have to reach. What is the timeline to reach there? Are you clear about your goals? And do you have a proper plan with proper timelines with that, for that? If you don't have that, so you have to prepare. You have to have this plan ready. If you want to be a good leader, first of all, I have told you in the very beginning that if you want to be a good leader, first of all, you should be clear where you are going. Once you are clear about your destination and the time you're going to be there, at least about your preparation, because we know that everything is in the hands of Almighty. Everything depends upon the wish and will of Almighty. But at least we should be putting our efforts, our planning, that if nothing, like if there is no sudden any sudden circumstances, then we will be able to, I should be able to reach there, or at least aspire for a goal, for an inspiration. That's important, because people will follow those whom they trust that, yes, this person is going to reach his destination. So when you are reaching your goals, you will be helping others or your followers also to reach their goal. So it's very important that you should be able to be clear on these 4 grounds when we are talking about value-based leadership, and everything should be in line with your core self. That is very important. So we can say, when we talk about value-driven leadership or value-based leadership, there are a couple of things that we should be clear, we should be focusing upon, and we should be clear about that, yes, these are the things that we have to implement. First of all, you should be able to align goals, align your goal with your followers. So your followers should be from your own area, the people whom you can really mentor, you can really coach, you can really benefit. So do not just keep, misguiding people. It's very important that you give honest advices to people who are following you, who are trusting you. Second is credibility. Credibility, you have to maintain credibility and you have to live your credibility every day. So abide by your statements. If you are saying that punctuality is good, then you have to be punctual daily, unless and until there are some circumstances or there are some problems, but you should be following your own words. You have to lead by example. That's very important, and you have to live it every day. So credibility should be maintained on a day-to-day basis, on a daily operational level. That is important. So you should not be contradicting your own words. You should not be doing what you are refraining others from doing. You have to inspire them, basically. So for inspiration, you should have knowledge. First of all, to be a very good leader, a value-based leader, you should be clear about your values. You should be clear about what things are tolerable to you, what things are not tolerable to you, which things are going against your values, and which things you can compromise, where you cannot compromise and you will not compromise. So that clarity of a leader always influences the follower a lot, because they can see a clear leadership skill, a clear leadership vision in the leader. So their followers, they love to follow such leaders who not only can control them or order them, but they are able to inspire them. And if you are able to inspire your people, right, by your conduct, by your behavior, by helping them, by cooperating with them, by collaborating with them, even if you are in a position to give them orders, always try to involve them in the conversation, in the discussions. So it is the value that you give to people. People always feel good when they are heard, right? When they are being listened and they are valued. So these two things are very important when you want to be a good leader, you want to inspire others, that listen to them and give value to them. You should be future oriented. So you should be clear about, you should not, first of all, you should not be you can say apprehensive about future, like whether we will be able to succeed or not, whether we will be able to do this or not. You should be very clear and you should be very focused and you should be very confident and very future oriented. Then if you are future oriented, if you have confidence, your followers and your subordinates, their confidence will also boost up. So that self-efficacy concept is very important, that yes, I can do it. Yes, we can do it. That concept is very important. So never ever doubt, even if you find that there is some task, there is some target which is like, which is not reasonable, okay, which is not achievable, which will be very difficult to achieve. But do not doubt yourself or your team members in front of them. Always boost their confidence. Always say, yes, yes, we can do it. We should give our best. We should give our best shot and we should be able to do it. I'm sure that we can do it. That we can do it. That we can do it has miracles stored in it. So many a times you will find that you will end up doing something impossible, which seemed to be impossible to you, just because someone has shown confidence in you. So now that confidence you have to show in your followers, in your subordinates. Then they will also be doing something which seems next to impossible to them. Then you have to be very rational in approach, very practical, very logical in approach, very rational in approach. Never ever be biased. Okay, do not have any favorism towards anyone. So go by logic, go by the rationale, and just go by the logical based and data based decision making. That's very important. You have to be emotional. Don't work like a robot, don't work like a machine. So value your own emotions, value the emotions of others also. So at times you have to connect with the person. And especially if you want to be a good influential personality and influential leader, you have to connect not only with your subordinates just as a designation that yes, I'm a manager and he's an executive, or I'm a vice president and he's a senior manager. You have to connect with the person, as him or her. This is how you have to connect. So that interpersonal relationship, that one-to-one relationship that you have, that's very important, because this is something which connects to people, and people work for people. You all are working, I'm working, people work for people. So you're not working. If you talk about employees are not working for the organization. They're working for their boss. So sometimes you find that the same employee has two different kind of attitude with two different bosses. So with one boss, he is very cooperative, very collaborative, high performer. But at the same time, if you put the same employee into the team of another boss, and if the boss is not able to maintain good relation with him, then you will find that the same person has become very reluctant and his performance goes down. So the person is same, his skills are same, but still the performance and the level of performance varies. Why? Because it is the leadership that plays a very important role. So people work for people. Always remember, your subordinates are not working directly for the organization. Your followers, your subordinates are working for you. So it is up to you what kind of relation you maintain with them. That is going to decide what level of performance they are going to show. Then you have to align your values. This is, I have already emphasized on being honest, and you have to serve others. So next, we will discuss about self-mastery. Now, when we talk about self-mastery, it has certain parameters, so you can say certain constituents or certain elements which you have to practice. Now, with self-mastery is basically the concept that to what extent we are able to master ourselves, master our heart, master our brains, and master our emotions. Because most of the problems that we face handling people or handling our bosses or management or our family members, it all revolves around these things. Either we are not able to manage ourselves properly, our emotions, our thoughts, our reactions, or we are not able to manage others. So in order to have self-mastery, if we want to master ourselves, that means our own focus, our entire focus should be on ourselves. Develop yourself. Find out your strengths. Develop yourself. Criticize yourself. Whatever you are doing, just criticize yourself. The more criticism you do for your own self, the lesser criticism you will get from outside. The more you criticize yourself. Criticize yourself. It's not doubting. See, there's a difference between criticizing and doubting. Criticizing is trying to find out where exactly you're doing mistakes, where exactly you need improvement. So there's nothing bad in that. This is a positive attitude. Doubting yourself is something like whether I'll be able to do it or not. No, I cannot do it. This is very difficult for me. I cannot do this. I don't have those skills and all. So do not doubt yourself. Identify the areas you're good at and where exactly you want improvement. For self-mastery, first of all, it's very important to have peace with the past. So if you have any kind of bad experiences in the past, do not just keep them linger on in your mind and your heart and your soul. If you have bad experiences in office, in your personal life, wherever you have bad experiences, just accept that something that has happened and you cannot go back and change that. So just accept that and move on. That's very important. So always have a peace with the past if you want to master yourself. Second thing is play devil's advocate. This is what I was just talking about a short while ago, that you have to play that devil's advocate, like all the time. The person you will find as if like one devil is there and who is criticizing you all the time. So you have to do that for your own self. You have to do that for yourself. Try to criticize yourself. Try to find mistake in yourself so that you can improve. The more you criticize yourself, the lesser criticism you will receive from outside. Accept your resistance. So if there is something which is not acceptable to you, do not try to push yourself. That is also very important for self-mastery and for the peace within. A good leader is the one who first have a peace within himself or herself, the peace of mind. If you have, then only you will be able to give that peace and that satisfaction and that you can say that contentment to the other person who are your followers. So accept your resistance, accept clearly, like this is what I can accept, this is what is not acceptable to me, this is I can tolerate, this is what I cannot tolerate, and communicate it very clearly to the other person. So you have to basically draw a line of behavior, others' behavior towards you and your behavior towards other, that this is what is not acceptable from others, from anyone. So you have to communicate clearly this particular thing to the other person, whosoever you are interacting with. Break the bystander effect. Bystander effect is if there is any problem in your team, in your organization, if there is any problem and any initiative is required, so volunteer for that. Take the initiative. Do not be a bystander and wait for others, anyone else to go and take the initiative. Take the initiative. Taking initiative is a very strong leadership quality, leadership trait, and a very strong way to influence others. But at the same time, take calculated initiative. So it's not that whenever there's a problem, I'm going to take initiative, I'm going to jump into it to influence others. No, think whether you will be able to handle it or you will not be able to handle it. And also whether you are competent to handle it or not, whether you have the skills. That doesn't matter whether you will be able to succeed or you will not be successful. That doesn't matter at all. But the first thing is that you should be having those goods and those courage to take initiative. So whenever there is a problem, take initiative to solve that problem. Even if you will fail, at least you have caught the attention of others and you got one chance to influence others. And in case you are able to handle the problem or solve it, or if you're a success, then definitely that's going to create a deep impact over others, and that's going to influence others a lot. So taking initiative is also a very important trait to be a good leader, you can say. Cognitive reappraisal is the same thing, that you have to continuously in your mind, you have to cognitively reappraise yourself. You have to critically analyze yourself, your strengths, your weaknesses, your conduct, your behavior. If you have handled or if you have faced a difficult situation or a difficult conversation or an argument with someone, so always try to sit back after some time and try to find, was there any other approach that could have been yielded the better result or better consequences what I have done. So every positive or negative, every good or bad interaction and experience, everything is teaching you something. So it's very important to teach ourselves or to learn from those experiences, good or bad, that doesn't matter. Audit yourself, question yourself, your strengths, your weaknesses, and talk to yourself. So these are the things which are important for getting self-mastery. And believe me, like, you cannot get self-mastery in a day or two. It's an ongoing process. The more you practice, the more better you will become as a person. So it's like connecting with your own self. So most of the time what we do, we are so busy in doing our tasks, our responsibilities, our duties, at home, at office, at work, with people, that we hardly get any time to connect with ourselves. It's very important to connect with yourself, even for 5 minutes or 10 minutes in a day, but just connect with yourself. Are you happy with the day you had today? Right? So just ask this question: are you happy with the day you had today? Or whatever happened today, are you happy with that? Are you satisfied with your own day, with your own efforts, with your own experiences? If not, then what would you have done to make it a better day for yourself? So definitely you cannot go back and change the day, but you can always make that another day. You can make the better tomorrow. So that's very important for being a good leader. To be a good leader, it's very important that first of all, you should be able to connect with yourself. Next comes innovation and experimentation. It's a very, very important thing, especially as I have already discussed with you in present scenario, when you find that every second organization is coming up with something or the new, right? And this is actually has become the new normal. So the more you innovate, the more you experiment, the better you will become. And especially when we talk about technology, when we talk about knowledge, the experimentation and innovation is natural. That's going to be there. If you are not doing, that doesn't mean that innovation and experimentation is not there. If you're not doing, someone else will do that. So same is there in the organization. If you are not taking any innovative initiative, if you are not doing experimentation, if you are not adding any value to the company, to your job, your competitor will do that. Your colleague will do that. And the moment he or she will do that, they will get an advantage, right? They will be able to influence people. So if you want to be competent, you should always be trying to put something new or add some value. Now, when we talk about innovation, that doesn't mean it is only related to technology. It's only related to electronics. It's only related to IT. No, innovation can be in any field. Innovation can be in any area. It can be in any job. Even if you are a salesperson, you are selling your products to the customers, there can be n number of innovations that you can do, n number of different tricks, different methods that you can improve and you can improvise and you can implement, right? So it's very important to find out where exactly you can add value in your own work, whatever work you are doing. Always try to find out, is there anything, is there any place, or is there any process, is there any part of the process where exactly some change could happen, or some change, if brought upon, that will add value to the organization. So that's very important. And whenever you are trying to have any kind of innovation or suggest any innovation in the organization, be very clear about one thing, that you should be able to connect it with the organizational performance. That's the only connection you have to establish. The moment you can tell the management, or you can prove it to the management conceptually, that if I'll bring about this change in the process, it's going to create value for the organization. For example, if I'll change the reporting system a bit, it's going to create impact over employee satisfaction and the performance. If we are just going to change the way we are conducting trainings in the organization and doing performance appraisal, and we are just, for example, there is some organization, they are just having 180-degree appraisal, right? Where only your boss is evaluating your performance. So if you want to bring about any changes in this particular performance appraisal, and if you know that the organization is using 180-degree appraisal, so it's not possible for you to go against it and just you can say practice or implement 360-degree appraisal, because this is something which is in the policies of the organization. So you cannot do that. But at least what you can do, you can facilitate, or you can encourage the discussions and feedback sharing, at least within your team. So you will find that once you are doing that feedback session between the team members, among the team members, and team members with you and the team members, the feedback sessions, when you are doing and you are giving and communicating the feedback, you will find that the team is getting united. There's a better understanding that is being established between the team members. They are able to give feedback for each other. They are able to understand each other. And this in turn has led to increased team performance and less conflicts, right? So it's not necessary that innovation should be something very big. You can bring some small innovations without like going against the company's policies, but still you can improve your influence over others. Now just imagine in an organization where never a feedback has been given, like it's like the performance has been communicated to the employer like a verdict and all. So in that scenario, if you are encouraging people to communicate and give feedback, to work in collaboration, can you imagine what kind of psychological impact is going to create on your team members, on your subordinates? They are going to respect you, they are going to value you, and they are going to follow you. They will be accepting you as the leader, and they will be highly influenced by you. So these are small innovations you can think about, improve, like bringing about into your work, which can add value to the work, as well as it can add value to the relation that you share with your subordinates. Always compare your past experiences. So like if you have implemented something and you had got bad, you can say, reaction from management. So be careful about your approach next time. So always learn from your experiences. Plan your experimentation well. Do not just outrightly implement it. If you want to bring about any change in your process, in your team performance or processes, then always try to first plan it properly, how you're going to do it, how you're going to execute it, and then only do that. Link it with the growth of the organization. Acquire skills which are required to do that if you're planning to bring any innovation. So what are the skills which will be required? So you should be having an expertise in that. You should be having a skill, all the required skills in that. Question yourself, learning oriented you should be. There should be no fear of failure. That's very important, that you should be able to accept the failure as well. So because whenever you are implementing any change, the chances are 50-50%. Okay, so 50% chances are that you will be able to succeed, 50% chances you may fail. So it should not be that if the plan works, then it is my plan. If the plan doesn't work, the fault is of my subordinate. This should not be there. So always have the accountability and do not have this fear of failure. So be ready to accept the failure also, because those who do something, they only get success or failure. That's very important to accept. So if you fail, do not think that I should not have done it, I regret doing it and all. If you fail, learn from your mistake, what exactly you did wrong, where exactly you did wrong, and make sure that you are not repeating the same mistake again, neither you nor your subordinate. So always share your experiences, your success and failures also with others, with your subordinates and with your followers. The next section that we will be discussing is emotional intelligence. So as I've told you, that emotional intelligence itself is a very vast topic, and it's not possible to cover that topic in a few minutes or in few hours. So I just try to give you a gist of it, just an idea of emotional intelligence. And if you find it interesting, you can just go back and you can dig deeper into the topic, and you try to find out and read on your own. So emotional intelligence basically has 4 parameters, 4 dimensions, you can say. The first one is self-awareness. Self-awareness is the same thing that we should be aware of ourselves. So I should be aware about myself. I should be aware about what Dr. Shadma is as a person, not as an employee, not as a leader, not as a boss. What I am as a person. What are my qualities? What are the things I'm really bad at? What are the things I'm really good in managing? What are the things I'm really bad at? So self-awareness is very important. What are my emotions? What are the things I'm really emotional about? What are the things? What are the subjects? What are the topics? What are the conversations where I really lose my temper? What are the conversations which, or what are the topics? What are the things which I can tolerate? So self-awareness is very important. Be very aware about yourself and your emotions. You should be able to control your emotions and your behavior first. So how you are reacting to a situation is very important. So in order to get a good self-awareness and self-management, it's very important to understand the difference between a reaction and a response, right? So these are 2 terms which are very commonly used, and I'm sure that you all must have used these terms and have heard about these terms. But have you ever given it a thought that what is the difference between a reaction and a response? Now this is where exactly emotional intelligence lies, right? Reaction is any quick reaction, any quick action in response to any action. So it's like someone came, slapped you, you slap back. That is what reaction is. Quick action to any stimulus. Now, on the other hand, so it will always have equal and opposite reaction. This is what reaction is, right? Every force has an equal and opposite reaction. But if you want to practice emotional intelligence, it's very important that we should understand, we should give it a thought before reacting. So if you're not expecting the other person to come and slap you, right? Or to come and say any bad word to you, or to come and do anything bad to you, but still the person did that. So instead of immediately reacting, just try to give it a few seconds. Just absorb whatever has happened and try to analyze why exactly did it happen. What is the reason behind this? Because every behavior, every action has a reason. If someone is angry, it's a reason. If someone is frustrated, it's a reason behind it. So most of the time what we do, we just see the action, we just see the behavior, we just see the conduct and reaction of people. But we do not try to go one step deeper into that and see what is the reason behind it. So this is the difference between reaction and response. If an employee, if one of your subordinate is absent without any information on a very important day, on a very important meeting, which he was supposed to conduct, right? Or he was supposed to facilitate. If a person is absent, and you are not expecting that person to be absent, so do not just outrightly give him a warning or be angry on him that why were you absent without informing me. Try to find out what is the reason behind this behavior. Is this behavior acceptable? Is this behavior expected? If no, then find out the reason. So that is basically the difference between reaction and response. The day you will start moving from reaction to response, you will find that your relations with people near you is improving, right? And it holds good in personal as well as professional life. So just try to move from reaction to response and practice this emotional intelligence. Then the second one is social awareness. Like, you should be aware about your own emotions, but at the same time, you should be aware about the emotions of others. So it's very important, as I've told earlier also, like, it's very important to connect with people. So do not connect with your subordinates as subordinates. Do not connect with your team member as team member. Connect him as he or she as a person. When you connect as a person, you will be able to understand emotions. At times, it's very important that you also get connected to that person and his personal life to some extent, like to the extent that the other person allows, so that you should be knowing what is going on in his or her life. Not exactly each and every detail, do not do nagging, but at the same time, you should be having that trust, that rapport that you have to build with your subordinates and with your followers, that they trust you, and you should be knowing if the person is going through a very bad phase or facing any challenges in their personal life. So that should not be affecting his professional career. So basically, being a good leader, you should be knowing the other person, you should be able to connect with the other person, and you should know when do you have to support the other person, when exactly the person needs your support, because that is where the bond forms. So it will happen only when you treat people as people, and you value them, you listen to them, you spend time with them, and you share a very good relation with them. So that was the relationship management also. So social awareness is when you have awareness about what are the emotions of other person, and what are the reason, the reaction to response transition, you can say. And relationship management is when you try to maintain relation on one-to-one basis. So a person who is a very bad person can be your best friend, isn't it? A person who has done bad to many people can be a person who has done a lot of good things for you. So do not judge people. Do not judge people what the person has done with the other person, because you don't know what is the relationship that these two people have shared. So always try to maintain a one-to-one relation in your professional life. Always try to maintain a one-on-one relation with the individual, not with his designation. That's important. So if you are able to practice this emotional intelligence, and this is also going to take time, because you cannot just become a master of practicing emotional intelligence, understanding others' emotions, controlling your emotions. Many a times you will find that you have a resolution that I will, from today onwards, I will completely stop taking reactions, and I will switch over completely to response. But very next day, you will find yourself reacting on a very silly things, like crazy, right? Then later on you will find that, okay, again today again I reacted in instead of responding. So these practices actually take time when you just try to practice them in your real life. So continuously, if you keep on practicing, then it will become your part of your personality, and then you don't have to put any efforts in practicing them. So that compassion, empathy, these are the things which you should have if you want to be emotionally strong and emotionally intelligent, which is very important. It's going to be important in near future also. Yeah, that people, they have to be emotionally intelligent, because now during this COVID time, you know, organizations, they have also realized and understood that the most critical part, the most competent part is something which your employees are, right? Your employees are the most important part of your organization. So they are the ones who are going to create value for you. So emotional intelligence is all about handling people, managing people nicely. So the more better you are in emotional intelligence, the better are chances that people, they admire you and they accept you as leaders. Next very important thing, which is the second last thing of this session, is networking. Now, networking, we all know, isn't it? You all know what networking. So you must be thinking about, like, what exactly Shadma is going to talk about networking. We all know what networking is. It's connecting with people and growing our network, so that whenever we need people, we know whom to look at and who is going to help us. But when we talk about networking, How many of you actually have researched on it, that how many types of networking could be there? And if you really want to be good and influential person, what kind of networking you must be doing? So I'll start with the basic one, operational networking. So operational networking is like we all do, isn't it? So when we are working in an organization, we all know certain people, certain contacts in each and every department, isn't it? We have contacts in each and every department. We know if we have any HR related query, whom we have to contact. If we have any finance related problem, whom we have to contact. So we have established some contact and network within the organization, and that network is our operational network, which ensures that whatever operations we are doing, we are going to do it smoothly, isn't it? So whatever task I have to do, whatever information I need, I can get it smoothly, and I can manage my day-to-day task and operations very efficiently and very nicely. This is what operational networking is, which we all do. But the hard fact is that 80 to 85% people, they just do operational networking. So they are stuck here only, and they do not think beyond it. So they have very good network within the organization. Whatever work is being done, they can do it. Whatever information is required, they can fetch it. Whatever is happening in all the departments, they get the information and they get the news, and they are updated. They are highly high on networking within the organization. But this is not which is going to give you strategic or long-term benefits, you can say. Benefits. So operational networking is important, but this is not the end of the world. So mostly I've told you that 80 to 85 people, they just stop here and they think that they are doing very good networking. But there are two more type of networking beyond that. The second one is the personal networking. Personal networking is that network wherein most of the people are not from your contacts, your networks are not from your organization. They are external. But they are external, but they are interested in the same area where you have your interest, or they have the same kind of strengths. They're working on developing those same strengths which you want to develop. They are those kind of leaders which you want to become, right? So personal networking is something which you do for your personal development. Operational networking is for your operational and professional development. Personal networking is something you do for your own development. So you should have people who can admire you, whom you admire. You should have those people who inspire you, so that what they are doing, you get information about that. You are updated about what they are doing. You are updated about what is happening in your interest areas, in your interest industry. So it's very important to have that personal networking for your personal development. The third one is strategic networking. So strategic networking is the network which are not going to give you any benefit as of now, right? But they are for your strategic future alliances. So they are going to give you benefits in future. They are not going to give you benefits right now. Even if you do any favor, you will not get the benefit, you will not get anything in return, you will not be paid for that. But these kind of network are going to work for you in future. So these are all future oriented network. So stay connected. You have to be connected with people whom you know that right now they are not going to give you any benefits, but they can give you benefits in near future. So those strategic alignment, you can do your strategic networking, you can do only if you have a clear vision about your own life. If you have a clear vision about your career, then only you can see, you can be having a far-sightedness for your own growth. And this is where you can influence others. This is how you influence others, because the way you are leading your life, the way you are creating experiences for yourself and for your team members, it is a learning for them. So then if they find that yes, this is something that we can learn from this person, then only they will accept you as a leader. So a leader should behave like a leader. A leader should look like a leader. A leader should think like a leader. A leader should set goals like a leader. A leader should have a vision. If you have a vision, you have goals, you should have that conduct. You should lead by example, then only you will be able to influence others, and then only the others will follow you. So whosoever is at operational level of networking, please give it a thought that if you want to progress, If you want to progress in your personal life, if you want to progress in your professional life, you have to keep on moving from personal networking to, sorry, operational networking to personal networking and to strategic networking. So that actually creates on uh, uh, giving you more clarity, and it give you more clarity on your vision and your goal. And this is how you influence others, by your personality and your conduct. Because once you have that orientation and if you have that vision, automatically you will find that your actions, your orientation, your conduct, everything is going to change. Your thought process is going to change. When you meet people from your own organization, you get experiences and information about your own organization. When you connect more and more people part or outside your own organization, maybe from different countries, from different industries, you will find that what kind of things they are doing, that actually gives so much of idea. These are food for thought for your own self. So connect with different kind of people, connect with different kind of industries, and expert in that industries. You can learn a lot from their experiences, right? You can learn a lot from their experiences. So just try to build your network as much as you can. The last but not the least one is positive leadership. Now, this is very much required in present scenario, and this is something which can help you to like easily sail through this difficult time. So positive leadership is, first of all, you should be positive about the future. You should be positive about the results. You should be positive about the outcome. So positive leadership is, or positive leaders are very scarce, they're very less in numbers. So if you find, if you talk about a bell curve for leader, the positive leaders are those who are just falling on the right, extreme right end. Those small number of leaders which are falling at the extreme right end of the bell curve of leadership. So they're very rare. That's why they are highly influential. They're highly influencing others. So they should it involve experiencing, modeling, enhancing positive emotion. So try to create positivity in you, try to have positivity in you. So for that, it's very important, but once you are doing the self mastery and emotional intelligence, try to be very clear, try to find out what are those positive sources of light that you have, those positive sources from where the positive energy is coming to you. So never let those sources die, and never let you be disconnected from those sources, right? It can be just a hobby. It can be a hobby. It can be writing, it can be painting, it can be reading, it can be music, it can be anything. So anywhere from where the positivity is coming to you, do not try to interrupt that. So positive leadership is very important, because once you are positive, you can and positivity is very infectious. Negativity is also infectious, but positivity is also very infectious. So try to infect people with positivity rather than infecting them with negativity. Try to infect people with positivity. They're going to love it, because no matter, like, neither me, neither you, nor you, we don't know what the future is going to be. But at least if we stay positive, we can put our level best efforts. And if we are positive, we can help others, and we can, you can say, lead others to put their level best efforts and to give their best shots, isn't it? So here, when we talk about positive leadership, self-awareness is important, and optimism is very important. Whether you will be able to make it or not, that's a different thing, but at least you should be positive about doing it. Next is authentic leadership style is very important. Ethical leadership is very important. Value-based leadership is important. Transformational leadership is important when you value people more than the rules, regulations, and policies and processes. So value people. Remember two things, okay? People, they follow you, they get inspired and influenced by you if there are two things. First, if they feel that, yes, I have been listened, I have been heard, and second, when they feel valued. So these are the two things that a good transformational leader always do. Connect with the people. Sometimes give value to them, isn't it? Give value to them. Giving value, if you give value to your people, even if the person is least experienced in your team, but never forget to ask about his input. Because many times I've seen people judging the quality of inputs or judging about the quality of inputs just by their years of experience. So they expect, or they feel, they believe that a good idea cannot be coming from a person who is least experienced in the team. So many times they don't even ask him. So never do that. Always feel everyone valued. You never know from where a good idea or a good, you can say, thought can come. Servant leadership is important because, and very less people actually practice it. This is the reason why bosses, they find that their subordinates are talking ill about them in their absence, right? They don't like them. So if you have this kind of relation, then you can be like, people might be respecting you just because of your position. The day your position is gone, the day your designation is gone, the respect will be gone. Servant leadership talks about that if you are sitting in a powerful position, your responsibility is not to command others. Your responsibility is not to command others. Your authority is not to question others or to order others or supervise others. If you are sitting at a strong position, at a powerful position, at an influential position, your responsibility is to develop others and raise others. That's important. The moment you are raising others, your level will be raised. So many times I have seen many people complaining that my boss, what he does, he believes that any good idea can come only from his brain, and no other brain is good enough to generate any good idea. So don't do that. Do not feel insecure from your own subordinates, right? Try to prove them with your competence. They will accept you as a leader when they will feel, yes, there is something in this person which I can learn. If I will work with this person, I will develop, I will learn so many things. So the day you are able to create this impression over others, the others can never stop themselves from following you, from liking you, from being influenced by you, right? So try to develop others, try to raise others. Do not try to suppress others just because you are sitting at a high position or you are sitting at a powerful position. And facilitate forgiveness. Forgive your people. If they are taking initiative, they are failing, forgive them, protect them, save them. And at times, take the ownership of mistakes also of your team members. Take that ownership of the mistakes. Give them credit and take the ownership of mistakes. That's going to create long-term psychological impact over your relationship with them, and you will find they will become your followers. Seriously, when we talk about leadership, it is something you have to earn. You can become a good influential leader only by winning people, not by dictating them, not by suppressing them. If you are able to win people, then you are able to become a good leader, and people will fall in love with you, with your personality, and they will follow you blindly. So that trust, rapport, you have to develop, and you have to actually win your people. So that's all from my side for today. And just a quick recap, or just I try to summarize the skills that you have to practice. And most of the things we have already discussed. So it's like mindfulness, positive affect, hope, confidence, self-esteem, self-efficacy, that you can do it, I can do it. Locus of control is how your reactions are controlled, whether you are controlling your reaction or someone else is having the remote, right? Remote control and controlling your emotions. So if someone wants you to cry, you are crying. If someone wants you to be angry, you are being angry. So you should be able to control your emotions, and the remote control should be in your hand. Then resilience, value your followers, resolve inevitably conflicts, that is taking initiative. So this was just a summary of all the points that we have already discussed. So that's all from my side. And now, Mr. Ehsan, we can take up the questions.
Yes, sure, Dr. Shadba. Thank you very much for the wonderful session. I would now be starting with the Q&A session. In the meanwhile, I would also request the other participants who have not yet raised their question in the Q&A section to please do that. We have around 15 minutes for the Q&A section.
Not an issue. We will take up all the questions.
Sure, sure. So there's a question by Atif Rahmani.
Mm-hmm.
Ma'am, good evening and thank you for providing such a wonderful learning. Can you
Thank you so
suggest some
much.
tools? Am I audible?
Yeah. Can
Can
you
you
suggest?
suggest some can you suggest some tools, techniques and resources to develop leadership traits in oneself?
Uh, See, when we talk about tools and we talk about uh, the resources, there are actually you have to do a lot of study for that. There are so many books that you can read in self-help. And when we talk about leadership, basically what I do, where I learn leadership from, is I learn from what leaders are doing, what leaders have done, right? So it is actually, you have to understand the personality. So there are so many leadership tools which you will find online. If you just type that how to test your leadership skills, there are so many tools online. Free tools are also there. But I would suggest that if you really want to understand leadership, go with the books, read books, read researches that have been done on leadership, these kind of researches which have been done on upcoming you can say upcoming approaches to leadership. That is what is important. So I can definitely share with you. There's a long list of these kind of resources, so you can connect me separately and I can share that with you if you're really keen to read that, and if you're really keen to develop yourself and your leadership skills. So by the way, I just want to tell one thing to you all, that whosoever wants to connect with me, you can connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm here on LinkedIn with the same name, Dr. Shadma Parveen. So you will just write Dr. Shadma Parveen and you will find my LinkedIn profile. So any of these kind of inputs I can provide you over there. And there are many books on strengths. There are many books. There's very good book in change management, Who Moved My Cheese. So the title is very funny, but if you just read the book is awesome about how you should handle change. So leadership is actually something which comes from many aspects. So if you are able to handle the change properly, you can become a good leader. If you are able to handle people nicely, you will become good leader. So as such, leadership skills, I cannot have just one consolidated source from where I can learn all the leadership skill. Leadership is something which is in the personality. So you have to imbibe so many traits. So in the beginning, do you remember that I have asked you to just write few things that makes you a good person, or because of which you find that some others will like you. And the same time, if I ask you to write one quality of your favorite leader, right? I'm sure that everyone will write a different quality. Someone will write my favorite leader is very amicable, is very trustworthy, has very good knowledge, or very resilient, or very patient. So people will write different characteristics or different traits or different qualities of their favorite leader, isn't it? So this is what we have to understand. If you really want to develop your leadership skill, this is what you want to understand. What exactly your followers want from their leader. So if I'm a motivated person, I don't want a leader who is very motivating and always giving a motivational approach. You can do it, you can do it, you can do it. I know I can do it. I don't need motivation. I need someone who can provide me a clear vision. I need someone who can guide me in my life, in my career. So my expectation from my leader is different. So similarly, they have different expectations from the leaders. So if you want to be a good leader, you should be able to understand what the people or your followers or your people near you or your team members, what exactly they are looking for in their leader. So you have to develop those skills. So this is the reason why social awareness is very important. What but people think about being a good leader. And this is why I would suggest that if you really want to know what people or what kind of leadership styles actually be very influential, go and study the researches that have been done. Go and study the meta-analysis that have been done on leadership, because that is going to give you a fair idea what people expect from leaders, right? So I cannot claim that I'm a very good leader. I will become a very good leader when others will say that, yes, she is a good leader. So for that, it's very important that I should be knowing what others are expecting from me. So do researches, just Refer to researches about leadership qualities and leadership traits if you really want to develop leadership, and you will be able to develop an insight about what exactly leadership is and how exactly you can be a very distinguished leader. If you talk about transformational leadership, okay, so how will you ensure that I have become, or I will follow transformational leadership? So there are some certain measures, certain parameters, certain behavioral conducts which you have to implement, you have to practice, keep on practicing, which can make you a good transformational leader. So this is why do not just let's rely on any specific tool. The tools are for measurement, the tools are not for development. With tool you can just measure what is your level of skill, right? So even if you want to measure, there are so many online tools on leadership and emotional intelligence and so many other topics, the tools, and most of the time the tools are free. It's a free tool that you can use, so you can use and measure that. But you are talking about development, go and research, read books, read books which are close to you, your personality, and the books which help you to develop some insights. So I can suggest many books if you want. So for that, you can just connect with me on LinkedIn. I will guide
Very
you.
much, Dr. Shadma. Even I look forward to the change management book which you have suggested. Due to the
That's a very
COVID,
good
there
book.
are
That's a very, yeah,
not
good
many
question.
changes in the lives of people, so it will be beneficial to us as well. There's another question from Dr. Afaq Ahmad. Leadership qualities emerge from within,
Yeah.
albeit a person having shy nature during his or her childhood days may develop these qualities with the passage of time and
Mm-hmm.
become a torchbearer for millions in society.
Mm-hmm.
A leader seems to be essentially a risk taker and winner of the hearts of masses. So, what's your take on this?
Absolutely. Absolutely, yes. See, gone are those days when it was written in the books and it has been taught that leaders are born and not made. When we talk about person, any person, okay, there are certain traits, personality traits, right, which are inborn, which are through the genetics, which are in the genes. So we cannot change that, and we should not struggle to change that. But leaders are born, that's not true. The leaders can be made. So by their experiences, you can learn so many things, and you can develop your own personality. You can develop so many things in your personality just by the way, or based on the way you are being doing your work, and you are surrounded, the kind of people you are surrounded, that's going to create a big impact on you. If we talk about two twins, there has been studies on this. There has been studies that two identical twins, they have been raised in two different kind of environment and culture, right? And those two identical twins, they emerged out to be two simply opposite personalities. So if something has been inherited genetically, then both of the, if the leaders are born, then both of them should become a mirror image of each other, isn't it? But that's not what happened. The two actually became opposite personality. One is very shy and the other is very extrovert. So what makes that difference? That difference is made by the experiences we have. So our personality, actually, we evolve with time. We evolve with every single experience, positive or negative. We develop ourselves, we evolve. So over a period of time, we definitely say that even a shy person who is very shy, very introvert in the beginning, the person can become a very influential public speaker. Because this is how we want to develop ourselves. This is the reason why I say that if you have something as a basic nature, like you feel, you know that you are shy, but at the same time you are also comfortable accepting the change. You find yourself very dynamic and very enthusiastic in welcoming and accepting the change. That's again a strength. So why not to accept the change? Why not to accept the challenges? So yes, that's very true that the drastic changes can happen in your personality. It all depends upon your effort. Whatever you want to develop, you have to keep on doing that, keep on doing that, keep on doing that. No matter how many times you fail, keep on doing that. You are bad in public speaking. Do that. Do that unless and until you learn that and you become an expert of that. You have to conquer your fear. Basically, you have to conquer your fear. The moment you conquer your fear, confront your fear, you will feel that, and you will realize that yes, I have evolved a bit. Every single evolution, every single evolvement in your personality is actually adding value to your personality. So personality traits, personality characteristics can be acquired. They can very well acquired, but that depends upon the quality of efforts and the honesty of efforts that we want to put in. And for that, it's very important, first of all, that we should accept ourselves. We should understand ourselves. We should accept ourselves. That's very important. So I completely agree with your point.
There's another question from Shashwati Bhaumik. What can be the first and foremost thing and the subsequent steps a leader should take to gain back the lost confidence of team members?
Uh, First step is you have to do the analysis, right? You have to analyze why exactly you lost the confidence. So first of all, you have to understand what went wrong. Because if someone has shown confidence in you, and if you are not able to live up to that confidence and maintain that confidence, if you just broke the confidence or trust or anything, or beyond the expectation, you have done something beyond the expectations of that person, first of all, there should be a reason behind that. So try to find out, try to analyze and try to find out what was the reason behind that. So first of all, you have to correct that. Okay. Then the next step is that you have to be honest. Accept if it was your fault. Accept that it was your fault, and be honest in your approach. And then again, try to build the rapport with that person. If the honesty is there, if the trust is there, the relations will be strong. Even if you have broken the trust once, or if you have broken the confidence of the person, that person had a confidence in you and you were not able to live up to the expectation, there must be a reason behind that. Why not to communicate? Why not to communicate with the person and tell what exactly is the reason? So maybe my parents were expecting me to score very high in the exam, but they had full confidence on me, but somewhere I was having a deep rooted fear of that subject. So the moment I went there, in spite of having done very good studies and practice, I was not able to go through it. Like I was not able to be through it. I was not able to qualify that. So my confidence definitely will go down, and my parents' confidence will also be broken, isn't it? But at the same time, it's not that I wanted or I intended to do. So intention is very important. If your intention was not there, that to deliberately break the confidence of the other person, then you are not at fault and your relationship should not suffer. Okay, so in that case, communication is very important. Communicate your intention, communicate the reason, communicate the scenario, communicate the context with the person, and try to establish harmony with that person. And later on, be honest with the person, be realistic about the confidence, also be realistic about the expectation also. So if you really feel that the other person is showing too much confidence on you, and you will not be able to live it up to it, do not wait for the extent that you are breaking the confidence. Communicate it with the person that this is something which is beyond your limit, or this is something which is beyond your capability. This is something you cannot do. Do not or take some time to be at that level that you will be able to live up to the confidence of that person. That is important. So communicate, accept if it's your fault, accept that, communicate with the person, try to find out the reason and improve things from there. Honesty and trust, that has to be built in future. Hope I've answered your question.
There's another question from Kuldeep Kumar. There are many people at top position who never give credit to their team member. Entire work, project handling by team members, but boss never gives credit and always says in meeting that he has it. Due to this, team members are not getting recognized and feel demotivated. So how to deal such kind of situation?
Okay, so where are you? You being at the team member, you want to like you want to answer from a team member's perspective in this question, right?
Yes.
Okay, so if you're trapped in this situation, definitely you are not the one who is going to select your boss, right? So the boss, unfortunately, we have such system in the organization that you are not able to select the boss, but the boss has the authority to select the subordinates. So once you don't have any control over it, you cannot do anything, right? If the boss is not giving credit to the subordinate, this is something wrong he is doing. So just imagine, in that scenario, you will never be able to respect that person. You will respect that person only because the person is sitting at that position. The moment he is out of that position, there is no respect, nothing for that person. Okay, so your first learning is this, that if you are not liking someone because of any XYZ reason, that the person is not giving credit to you, then make sure that when you reach that position, you are not doing the same thing. First is this learning for you, because this is something which is going to develop you as a leader. Okay, so make sure that you are giving credit all the time, because if you are doing the same thing, then you will be you are also going to become a copy of that person. Second thing, it is a very common scenario in the organization, and this is actually because of the insecurity that the bosses have. The insecurities that they have because of their own competence or their own competition or their own pressure. So you cannot do anything. If you have a 360-degree appraisal, definitely you can raise that particular thing. In your appraisal, if it is a self-appraisal kind of thing, so in that case, you will be jotting down, you will be writing down your own achievements. So you can write it down, mention it down there. If you have all the documents for your achievement, for your performance, for your contribution towards the project, completion of the project, success of the project, so you can mention it over there. In organization, it's not necessary that all the time one person should be recognizing and giving you credits. Okay, if the system is well established in the organization, you can communicate your achievements through different medium to the top management, right? A person can speak within the meeting, in the meeting with the top management about like taking credits, but at the same time, the top management is also screening all the reports and performance appraisals. So if you get a chance to write your own achievements in your performance appraisal, write it there. Definitely, it's going to be in the eyes and in the, in the notice of the management for that. And when you are claiming, when you are applying for any kind of promotion, you can claim that. At least you should have all the documentation in the organization, within the organization. So whenever you get a good platform, whenever you get a chance, you can quote that, right? Secondly, you should be satisfied with your own performance, that if you are doing projects, if you are making it a success, at least it is adding value to your profile. Because the organization that you are working, that is not the end of the world. It's not that for the entire life you're going to be in the same organization, right? Anytime if you find certain problems in the organization, try to sort it out. Try to find alternate ways to communicate and to communicate your achievements and your success and your contribution to the management, to the HR. And I'm sure that most of the organizations, they are doing it in the form of performance appraisal. So the chances are being given to the employees also to mention their achievements. So always take that route. Try to reduce the conflicts, try to reduce, because once you know the intention of the other person, there is no point in fighting. This is what I believe. Once you know the intention, if you know that the person is doing harm to you intentionally, there is no point in fighting, right? You cannot change the person by fight. You can either avoid confrontation, or when the right time comes, you can win over the person. So sometimes a person who is doing very bad to you, or if your boss is not giving credit to you, is your boss is being really biased to you, try to help your boss when he actually needs help, your help. Do not teach him a lesson. Sometimes by doing good to a person who has done really bad to you and had very bad intentions for you, at time when he is not expecting any help and cooperation and good from you, if you are doing good to that person, that is going to change the relation that you share. So there are multiple strategies that you can deploy depending upon the person, on the other hand. and also what kind of policies in the organization you have. So do not just run behind one particular thing. If you want to communicate something, you can communicate it through different channels. This is what I suggest, that do not fight within the organization. That is not going to lead you anywhere. Like, conflicts are going to increase. If you don't like the boss, if you don't like the organization, you think that you are competent enough, go get some other good job. If one person is not identifying or recognizing your worth, that doesn't mean you're worthless. There may be another person, there may be another organization, another job for you, waiting for you. Right? So do not feel stuck. Do not doubt yourself because someone is not giving you credits.
There's another question from Mohammed Saad Bitkar. Thank you, ma'am, for giving your precious time and knowledge. I'm glad that I got this opportunity, but I'm unable to control my angerness problem. Will you suggest me how to control anger management?
Anger management, see, you really have to work hard on that, and I can give you a long counseling on anger management. But first of all, it's very important to do that self-analysis. That's the basic step that you have to do. Get angry, not an issue. But every time you are losing your temper, you're getting angry, you're getting mad at something, later on, when you are back to normal, just try to analyze the same situation. Look at the same situation now. Once you are calmed down, you have been angry, you have done the damage, whatever, but later on, when you are calmed down, just try to revisit the entire situation and see how and which reaction led to which consequence. Right? If you really want to do anger management, you have to do this reaction, consequence, relation. Reaction, consequence, reaction, consequence. So this reaction led to this consequence. Reaction X led to consequence Y. If I would have adopted reaction B, it would have led to consequence C. Okay. Now compare Y or C. Which one is better? So anger management can be done very easily and very, like, initially, this is the approach that you can adopt. Action, consequence, analysis. Next time when you are in the situation, just give it a thought. That reaction, response. For anger management, you just have to do small things. Okay. Reaction, response, one thing. Action, consequence, other thing. Just try to practice these two small things. Stop reacting. You have anger, just give it 2 or 3 seconds. 2 or 3 seconds. Just think about it and react. Think about it and react. So start thinking, moving, do one thing at a time. Try to move from action to response. I'm sure if you are getting angry, then most of the time you are just reacting. You are just getting along with the impulses. You are getting impulsive. You're just it's just like one thought is coming in your mind, and then that thought is giving rise to another thought, and this is how the chain reaction goes, and the anger outburst is there. Plus, whenever someone is really angry on small things, there is some deep-rooted problem with this. There's some deep-rooted problem with this. To try to analyze that thing, is there anything that you are unhappy with? Is there anything which you are uncomfortable with? Is there any experience in your past, in your childhood, that you are uncomfortable with, or you are still not able to overcome? So you have to go a deeper down within yourself if you really want to find out the reason for your anger. Because anger is a result. The reason is somewhere else. So that reaction response thing, action consequence thing, and that self-analysis, that where exactly the root cause of this anger is, outburst is. That is important initially. Other than, we have many strategies for anger management, but initially I would just suggest try to focus on these 2-3 things. That's it.
Aisan, I think we have taken almost more than 1 hour and 45 minutes of Dr. Sadma.
Yes, I would be requesting Dr. Shadma. We would be ending this session due to the time constraint. But I would now read out a few feedback comments which we have got from the participants. There's one from Shashwati Bhaumik. Thank you so much, Dr. Shadma Parveen, for giving such a detailed and practical answer to my question.
Thank you so
There's one from Farhane Naqvi. This was an excellent presentation and talk by Dr. Shadma. I've been in many leadership training sessions and I must say I have learned more. So thank you, Dr. Shadma. It was a wonderful session, and
My
you have
pleasure.
given your precious time for Association of Muslim Professionals. And on behalf of AMP, I would sincerely thank you and would request you to please be available for future sessions as well, since this was
Definitely.
a very informative session for our participants as well as for the AMP team. Uh,
Thank you so much.
if
And thank you so much for such lovely feedback. It's always really enthusiastic and energetic for me to hear that people are liking what I'm here to share with. And someone actually asked on chat box that is it Dr. Shadma Parveen from UAE? Yes, it is my profile, Dr. Shadma Parveen, and I'm based at UAE. So anyone who wants to connect with me, you can connect through LinkedIn.
Iftikhar
All
bhai,
right.
would you like to add?
Yes, I'd like to thank you very much on behalf of AMP. It was a very enriching session for me also, personally at the level, at the mid-management level myself. So we know I've been through to the junior level to up to this level, and we have learned a lot from how the leadership should be and all that. Uh, the part which you have explained about the three questions which you have explained, which are very important, and I think we should follow that particular rule uh, till the end of our life, so that if on the 3 points, like whatever you have chosen, you should follow that particular point, which is very helpful. And on behalf of AMP, I'm very thankful to you for giving us your precious time.
My
And
pleasure.
Alhamdulillah, thank you for your help,
Thank
and
you
we
so
look forward to hosting you again in future. Thank you very
Definitely.
much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, all of you. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for providing this platform and conducting this session. I really appreciate like taking advantage of this COVID-19 and connecting people through virtual sessions. It's really nice, and I enjoyed the session a lot. And thank you so much for the wonderful audience to be such good audience and wonderful audience and very responsive audience. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Shatma Faiz ma'am, for such an informative and interesting session today on leadership skills. It is our pleasure to have such an highly learned and experienced speaker like you on board with us in our session. I, on behalf of Association of Muslim Professionals, would like to thank you for such a wonderful session today. Also, referring to the book you mentioned, Who Moved My Cheese, I would like to tell you that it is one of my favorite books as well. Uh, so it is truly said, great leaders don't set out to be leader, they set out to make a difference. It is never about the role, it is always about the goal. Well, to all our attendees, I highly appreciate your logging in today for today's session and making this session a great experience for all of us. I wish attending our sessions will be helpful to you in your career paths. At AMP, we are committed to organize such web talk sessions, which I'm hopeful you all are finding very interesting and helpful. These sessions allow you to connect communicate, and learn from our highly experienced speakers like Dr. Shadma Faizma. We will be uploading today's recorded session on our YouTube channel in a few days, inshallah. Stay tuned to us, connect to us on our social media platforms so that you all can get all the regular updates on the activities we are conducting. Do not forget to send us your feedbacks. You can email us at info@ampindia.org. Your feedback are valuable to us. If you wish to be a part of AMP and its community work, you can simply log on to www.ampindia.org/joinamp. All right, so it was a wonderful experience, ma'am, with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you
I'm
so much.
Homera, your host today. Signing off now. Stay home, stay safe, keep learning. Take care. Goodbye for now. Thank you.
Goodbye.
Thank you, Iftikhar Bhai, and
Thank you
thank
so
you,
much.
Thank you. We
Hassan
would
Bhai.
now end this session by a short qiraat. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Qul huwallahu ahad. Allahus samad. Lam yalid walam yulad walam yakul lahu kufuwan ahad. Sadaqallahul Aliyyil Azim. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.